Hi, friends.
Salutations.
Hello.
So this is a we have none of our regulars apart from me this time, but that's scheduling stuff and whatever. So we have two of our favorite guests. Uh Ren. Is that Ren the Barbarian the YouTuber? It is Ren the Barbarian the YouTuber. See, I can do both parts. And Oddnon. We have to make up something silly for Oddnon. Suggestions in the comments.
He's the odd non-man out.
And there we are. And that's enough. So we're not doing Farscape today. We are doing a Christmas thing and watching It's a Wonderful Life. It's one of my favorites. Ren is a bit meh, and Adnan doesn't remember it.
As I don't so many things. Like, I remember being a child, and that was like my mother was always like, "Yeah, we gotta watch it." And I'd sit and watch it and play Game Boy,
Mm.
like catch
Yeah,
bits
my
and pieces of it.
my favorite Christmas movie is Elf, so
That's the only one of no, I tell a lie. There's a couple Will Ferrell films or films with Will Ferrell in them that I can stand, and that is one of the few.
Stranger Than Fiction, that's a really good Will Ferrell movie.
Ah, okay. I haven't seen that.
It's a drama, not a comedy.
Hmm. Yeah, I just don't like his sense of humor, but yeah. I think it works in Elf because it suits an elf.
Yeah, and he's not being too much, you know?
I
Yeah.
I remember when Anchorman came out, and I was uh, a teenager when it came out, and I loved it then. I watched it recently, maybe like 2 3 years ago. There's bits of it that hold up, but yeah, like the Will Ferrell shtick, I don't think really hits me in the same way.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
But
Talladega Nights, that is the dumbest movie.
But we're here for somebody else with a distinctive style. It's Jimmy Stewart.
Merry Christmas, you old savings and loan.
well, I gotta tell you, I want to live. I want to live.
I'm Mr. Smith and I'm going to Washington. That's a different movie.
That's a different movie. But we still have to watch Harvey at some point. And Harvey is my excuse for us watching It's a Wonderful Life this year. Last year we did Die Hard because that's Jack's favorite Christmas movie. And the year before that we discussed Muppets Christmas Carol, which is my favorite.
Mm.
And I think is one of the best Christmas movies ever. And just recently, Adnan, you were there. A group of us in a Discord ended up with a double bill of Muppets Christmas Carol and The Lion in Winter.
So random.
The second one, I'm still upset that I stayed and watched. Not because I was upset that I watched it, but because
You should have
it's
been
it's
sleeping.
clearly a film that I need to watch multiple times. Like, so I don't begrudge the experience. I was just like, oh man, I wish I had more time right now to like take a day or two and like watch it again because I can tell it's going to be something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's a
Oh
lot
yes.
going on. Yeah.
Yes. It is a banquet of scenery chewing.
I
Um,
was I was really kind of tickled to just be exposed to it because it wasn't something that I ever would have, even reading what it was, I never would have thought to sit down and watch it. So that was
mm.
kind of a treat in its own right.
If Katherine Hepburn is in something, it's worth watching. That's a good rule of thumb. And same for Peter O'Toole, honestly. Yeah. Um. So I don't know what you folks are doing for your Christmas, but I didn't get ask Adnan, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie, I like Home Alone because like they did everything they could to not write a gun into that movie.
Yeah, you're right.
like I, I don't want to
I
be
mean, there's like
morbid
a
about
little
it,
like
but
BB air rifle or something, but
yeah, Well,
Yeah.
I genuinely love both of those movies, like just on their own merit. But there's a part of me that's like, I don't know why these guys are going around like doing what they're doing, and they're not strapped. And then the only thing I can come up with is, well, then there wouldn't be a movie. It'd be over in 20 minutes, you know. Um, but
I'll tell
those were
you
some
one
of the.
thing. If I ever met one of the McAllister parents or Uncle Frank in real life, it would be on site. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky.
Uh, I love in the same way that I love playing like skateboard or like snowboarding video games in real life, just for the simple fact of like every stunt and or like bodily harm that happens is you're dead. You're done. Like you got hit in the head with a paint can and tumbled back down the stairs on a bed of nails. Like that's it, man. Like you're over.
I
But
can't remember what channel it was, but somebody did like a body count of like,
I'm pretty sure it
like,
was CinemaSins.
oh,
it might have been. It
Back
might
when
have
they
been.
used to
oh,
have original ideas.
I hate to be referencing Cinema Sins. They're just so bad for art. Their existence has been bad. But maybe it was them. It was one, or it might have been the people who do the how it should have ended.
It was one of those two.
It was one of those two, but yeah, somebody did like a count of how much death, how many times they would have died.
But I mean, yeah, but and I've seen that video. It's very funny, but I just really like those movies because there are like very genuinely tender moments in them in a way that they were some of the first Christmas movies that when they came out, I was old enough to really engage with.
Mm.
And so I just have that kind of like attachment to them. Um, to this day, I mean, I haven't used aftershave in probably 4 years, but um, every time I used to use it when I had to shave up, I would always do the ah. My partner would be like, "Shut up!
That should
It's
be that should be the
July."
thumbnail. All of us going like,
Should I say, "Shut up! It's July"? Like we had a blanket rule; it had to be December. Like I could have
Mm.
31 days to do the thing. But that's my whole thing.
December 1st, your family's downstairs and they just hear from upstairs.
Well, it is the Christmas season.
I love John Candy, and he's in that. I did.
John Candy's a big favorite.
I think the film was a little spoiled for me by the fact that my brother, who was my annoying little brother at the time, he's now a very tall little grown up, but at the time he was an annoying child the same age as Macaulay Culkin,
Oh,
and
okay.
with a tendency to repeat the things he saw. So yeah,
Mm.
luckily it didn't actually harm me, but it was not. I was less charmed by Macaulay Culkin's shtick, because I'm just like, yeah. And he had the little brother, uncanny ability to be provoking me until the parents walked in, and then look angelic when I lost it. It's a special little brother magic that is very annoying. But I love It's a Wonderful Life. I yeah, I mean, talking of scenery chewing, that is what Jimmy Stewart does. And I enjoy it. And I love A Christmas Carol. We just did a reading of it, and this is kind of like Bob Cratchit's perspective on A Christmas Carol.
I think about how many things have done like a pastiche to A Christmas Carol, and how many things have also done a pastiche to A Wonderful Life, where like, especially toward the Christmas season, one character will be like, "Nah, I wish I was never born," and then, like even if it's like a sitcom where nothing magical has ever happened before, somebody will show up and be like, "Guess what? I'm a Christmas angel, and I'm gonna show you what it'd be like if you were never born." Never, and that's it, and then nobody ever remarks on that fact ever again.
I love what's his name? Jimmy.
Jimmy
He does a
Stewart.
lot of he does a lot of jacket flopping.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the movie, like jacket flopping and hats where he's like, ugh, ugh. Like just everything is like very like wrestling with with basic clothing items. And like I definitely think I don't remember how much of it is in A Wonderful Life, but like it was definitely sort of like a hallmark of his character that was vaguely edging on slapstick, where it would just kind of like put you there. I don't know how to explain that any better.
Yeah, it's just very, very physical acting.
We should
Exactly.
start a conspiracy theory that Jimmy Stewart doesn't know how to put on a coat. Because what's he gonna do? Argue with us?
Yeah. Isn't he like Wicked Departed?
Yes.
Yeah, for like a while now, I think. Well, that's
Yeah.
a shame. But
He has a very Kermit the Frog energy. Or is it perhaps it's that Kermit the Frog has a Jimmy Stewart energy?
it might be the other way
Jimmy
around.
D. Stewart here. I can't do a Kermit the Frog.
But what I like best about I'm less on the like let's see the world without me in it kind of part of the film. And what I like most is like the early part that is basically a lovely advertisement for communism. And don't think that McCarthy, House on Un-American Activities, didn't notice.
Yeah, I saw somewhere that like this movie got investigated by the FBI.
It was I think it was the House on Un-American Activities. Yeah.
People of the world, unite! All you have to lose is your change.
Well, there was this period in the late 40s where people were doing like what they call message pictures, and they were being very like yeah, socialist. To be frank. And like there's what is it? It was it It's the Best of Times. There's one by William Wyler that's about um veterans coming home from World War II and discovering that it's hard. And like directly confronting like a bunch of stuff and fascism and calling out. And it also got investigated because well, and then when McCarthy started his shit, then they just shut that all down. And we got the 50s of let's go let's go conservatism.
Well, there, Sam. You're working at the behest of the boss's brow, so maybe you deserve a little bit of a cut too. There's nothing to lose but your chains, bud. Let's go. No justice, no peace, if you know what I mean.
And yet because
Socialism curious.
and like this film became popular because they didn't renew the license, the copyright stuff, so it was free. So a bunch of us have like just had this childhood little Christmassy advert for communism.
Yeah.
There's I don't mean to like beleaguer us with memories, but I'll never forget watching Batman the Animated Series. And if I'm not mistaken, there's an entire episode where Batman and Robin get caught up in some plot by the Joker. And at the end of it, they like sit down and there's a Wonderful Life on the TV. And Robin's like, "Do you think we can rest today?" And and Bruce is like, "I think maybe for one night." And they both like go like lean back in these recliners, and it's some sort of like vaguely Bruce Timm uh animated version of A Wonderful Life briefly.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Oh, it might be the one where he launched like the Christmas tree style nuke into like that show is wild. But anyways,
So shall we start the movie?
Yes, let's do it.
I think I'm I think I'm ready. Sorry, I think I'm ready. I want to
Okay.
watch.
Okay, folks, so we are going to start the movie in a second, and we are not at all repeating something we did a minute ago.
Oh yeah, no. all I asked for was advice on what to look out for because I would never want to be in violation of the law. How disgusting.
Yes, tell us when you're
Apparently,
ready.
I just need like 10 seconds because. Oh, wait. Okay, I am exactly at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, folks. So we are going to start the movie. Folks in the watching as well as
The people in the computer.
okay. We're all ready. Fingers on play buttons.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, play. And there should be a bong, bong, bong.
Perfect.
Liberty Films presents Liberty Bibberty. Have you guys seen that ad?
No.
The Emu or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liberty, Bibberty. Well, I don't think I can say it.
Liberty, Liberty, Liberty.
We get some of the same commercials, although I don't usually watch TV on TV. Da, da, da. It's Drew Barrymore's dad, Lionel Barrymore.
Oh,
Sounds like Buffalo Gals, won't you come out tonight?
That's exactly what it is. Da, 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 da.
You guys know that
Da,
episode
da,
of
da,
Cow
da.
and Chicken?
Oh, God.
The episode that's totally not about butch lesbians.
Oh, my God. I was like 10 and I knew. I was like, Mom, this is not. Because
Oh,
my mom
look,
thought
it's
it
the
was
Buffalo
funny.
Gals. They come into your house and eat your carpet.
My mom just thought it was funny because she thought it was ridiculous. Now, I love my mother, but she's not the most perceptive person.
Oh,
And
I mean,
how
they
adorable.
put that stuff in cartoons for the not perceptive people because it's amusing for the rest of us when they don't get it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Mom, I think there's something else going on here. And she had a friend who was lesbian and was like, no, that's it. No.
I want to live in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, the town where George Bailey is the main character. Imagine saying your prayers and being like, and please help that random dude who lives in this town.
It's like Stars Hollow for the 1950s.
It is
For
like
real.
Stars Hollow. I love Stars Hollow, but much better than I like the Gilmores.
Except thank God they don't talk nearly as fast in this movie.
I didn't know that that was the same person that wrote Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh yeah,
It's not surprising.
And I was
he
like,
has a
wow,
very
this-
distinctive kind of writing.
Yeah.
So there
Cosmic
apparently
Horror.
the original plan was to have this be set in like Lincoln Abraham Lincoln's office. That would be who play it, like how they were going to do the God and the angels talking.
Of all the choices, that's certainly one of them.
Yeah, this is a much better
It's
choice.
a choice.
It's a little cosmic horror going on.
Cosmic Court. I don't know, this feels very Star Trek to me. The talking
Yeah.
nebulas.
It is. Have they ever done a Star Trek It's a Wonderful Life?
That would be an amazing Lower Decks episode.
It would. You know, it would be completely bananas.
Oh, absolutely.
But the book would be like so small.
I mean, it's a heaven book in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, if Clarence is an entire star, then actually that'd be a very big copy of Tom Sawyer.
Maybe it had like a lot of spinach, like it got all big. Because
Maybe it's a ghost of a book.
There you go.
I mean, if we're willing to believe angels exist for the purposes of the movie, then we can believe that they have books. for the
Mm.
purpose of the
Yeah.
movie. I'm not sure which would actually be more absurd.
So I gotta say, like this shovel thing, that doesn't work.
They don't have sleds, so I guess it's the best they can do. I mean, it just kind of makes sense because, like, with the handle, you can kind of guide yourself.
Yeah, I remember at boarding school we took the cafeteria trays.
Yeah, we did. I've seen cafeteria trays. I've seen.
We
I
just
don't
had
know.
sleighs because
Oh.
when you grow up in Saskatchewan, you may as well just have one because there's plenty of ways to go sledding. So
I've
we had quite crazy carpets, like big plastic,
Yeah.
like a big plastic Pringles can lid that you just.
Maybe my butt was too big.
I
For
live
the
in Texas, and I've had like two major snows my entire life.
Did you grab something and go find a hill?
We don't. It's too flat. There are no hills.
We found hills in Saskatchewan. There's a ski mountain in near Saskatoon called Blackstrap, which is actually made from a garbage dump. And they put concrete on top and made it into it so we would have a ski hill.
I live in like the
It was
hilliest
very,
area.
very cold.
Oh, I bet. I live in an incredibly hilly area, so no shortage.
This is some really good child acting. Like this film also has some really terrible
Mhm.
child acting. Every time a bell rings,
Ugh.
but these kids are good.
Yeah. Why did they cast the bad actor one as the main one?
Why does that one kid look like he's 40? Like with the hair and everything, he looks like he's like 40 years old.
That's what makes it work so good.
Yeah.
Because I can believe that Jimmy Stewart looked like a 40-year-old when he was 10. And like this kid actually looks like Donna Reed.
Damn.
Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from?
You come out the gate swinging? That's kind of cruel.
George Bailey actually invented negging.
Girls just don't like coconuts. You gotta throw her over the, you know.
Girls can't understand National Geographic magazine.
That's like back in the day where like you go to work all day, you get home and you kick the cat and drink
I get that she
a
whispers it in
martini.
the ear he can't hear in, but like he would absolutely hear her saying George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die with his other ear. Because that's not how sound works.
Again, this is a universe in which we've agreed that angels exist
Yeah.
and are
Selective
nebulous.
hearing also exists.
Well, why is that guy like shit faced and like crying?
He's
Oh,
depression.
you're about to find out.
Okay. Oh.
Mm.
It's almost like they're preempting him to like not be upset. They're like, your son died from influenza. Stop.
Mm.
Wait.
Stop. Just stop.
But I know it's the telegram, but
Content warning: there will later be violence against this child.
Yeah. Dude, maybe you should just close the pharmacy for the day.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
It's the 40s. Men don't know how to take care of themselves.
This is 1918.
Oh yeah, this is even worse. But yeah, men don't know about self-care yet.
I love that there's a plot point in this film taken from a cigarette ad. I mean, how completely different universe can you get from our world now? I like Uncle Billy. He's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when
I
Camel
like
was
that
like,
the secretary also calls him Uncle Billy. He's everyone's uncle. It's one of those communities.
Yeah, he's just assigned Uncle Billy at birth.
AUBB?
If they're going to die, they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population.
You ever like characters like this? You ever think they stop and think, "Am I the bad guy?"
You know, I would hesitate to think of where I found it. I think it was like on A&E or something like that, but they did a documentary about like these writers, and it was like took like 50 years of like these writers of like these older films that were like dying. And there was like this really weird distinction of where like there was a lot of them that were like that was just the way it was and we didn't realize how cruel it was. And then there's another group of people that were like we were writing them to be parodies, but like society was just so that they didn't like understand. They were just like,
Mm.
"Oh, that's the rich guy, so he's the good guy." It was very fascinating to like see the delineation between the two. Oh,
That's
Jesus.
yeah.
Other things that
My God, he hit him so hard his ear's bleeding. Please, sir, please don't poison people just because you're sad and drunk. He licks it even though he knows it's poison. We all want a big one.
that, yep, on brand.
The
This
druggist?
this look with the bow tie and the ripply hair.
Your pharmacist isn't called your druggist.
The druggist, like the pianer or the doctist?
Well, I mean, drugger kind of sounds worse, don't you think?
Yeah. I'm a doctist, not an archaeologer.
Oh, I like cows. Underrated quote from this movie. I love how Jimmy Stewart's grown up, but this old man is still is the same age.
Of course, Jimmy Stewart is Jimmy Stewart at this point is supposed to be like 20, not even.
Yeah, like that old man would be dust by now. It's like in Back to the Future when Marty McFly goes back to 1955 and Doc looks the same age as he does in
Yeah.
85.
Yep.
Like, dude, how long have you been 60?
Woo.
This old thing.
Dang. That's
And just
game.
the town just has the town harlot.
She's wearing pink and puffy
And
sleeves.
no
You know
no
she's a
shame no shame to her.
Yeah.
She's feeling herself.
yes.
Awooga. The horde is like a nice touch.
Wah, wah.
Although I
Go and
like
see what the wife's doing. That cop's gonna go get some afternoon delight.
I was just gonna say afternoon delight. Yeah.
There wouldn't be any what.
more children. It's just they managed to make this whole world feel so lived in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this thing I've noticed, like a lot of older movies, like Sunset Boulevard and things like that. Sunset Boulevard is where like it's
What the?
you're talking about chewing up scenery and stuff, but it's like this very steady placement of not just like the backgrounds, but things that are out. They're like very clearly not in their designated spot, like a
Mm.
coffee cup on a table or like a picture on a, it's really interesting. Um, Not saying anything new or exciting, but there is like sort of like a lived in feel that you kind of can grasp from that, you
Yeah.
know. Or even in the previous scene where like there were a myriad of bottles that were not related to like the poison pills that were just kind of like set out on the counter,
Yeah, who the
you
hell is
know.
keeping poison mixed in with all the medicines?
Well,
The
apparently
dose
that
makes
guy.
the poison.
Yeah.
Because yeah, a lot of things. If you have a druggist was somebody who would make up the pills as opposed to just hand them out like most pharmacies. So they would like he would have been mixing out of the stuff.
But
So
still, I mean, like that just seems even more dangerous to just have the poison sitting around with the pill stuff.
well, I don't think it was the poison. I think it's that dose of the thing would be poisonous.
No, it said on the bottle just labeled poison.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's rat poison or something. Like, let's see, we got aspirin, we got Benadryl, we got poison, we got just poison.
I mean, who among us, right?
Yeah.
No, Dad, I want to be an architect. Don't make me be capitalism.
No, they're not capitalism. This is the building and loan. This is the socialism.
Oh, right, right. I don't understand what a building and loan is.
Oh,
The-
Is it not like a bank?
yeah, it's a bank, but it's like a bank where the people it's like a co-op. There's no shareholders apart from like the people who own all the houses.
So
Oh, I
there's
see.
I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the US, credit unions to a lesser degree function a lot the same way.
I
In
was gonna
that,
say, isn't that just a credit union?
Yeah,
well, not
it's
entirely. Sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
yeah, it's very much like a credit union, but they're building houses.
Yeah, one of the principles that goes into like the credit unions, and I can only speak for where I'm at, but when I worked at the credit unions, and I've worked for several, there's a lot of regulations in the state that like they can only turn like X percentage of profit, and a not small percentage of that profit has to go towards beautifying their own facilities or opening up new ones for the community, but also that a not small percentage of the loans that they make have to go towards like certain communities, building it up and loaning it out to like build up communities. Um,
Hmm.
and so I think a building and loan is like a sort of proto version of that, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably not actually, but in spirit.
Yeah, so it is like a communal business rather than a profit business, and the profit business is Potter. This is why this film makes the capitalist the enemy,
Yeah.
as it should be. But most films don't do that anymore for reasons.
I was always fascinated that anytime I attended a shareholders meeting for a credit union, is not only were the people that were in it were elected, but they were also like the dude that owns a party store on the corner.
What kind
Like
of
just
gymnasium has a pool under the floor? That doesn't make sense.
Well, this is theoretically a high school graduation dance
Yeah.
at a school which has a pool on with a dance floor on top.
Just a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
I feel funny enough already.
Well, he said most of my friends have already graduated college, so he's like probably 25. And there's the girl.
The soft focus filter.
Yep.
You know, I
Donna
think it's
Reed is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
seriously. I really I know it's like fairly, if not outright sexist, but like the soft focus filter, I think, at least in terms of like storytelling for this era, um, was like so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Mary. I want to live. A loving cup.
It's like all those movies that have like kissing booths in them, and it's kind of like that would paying kids to kiss other kids that would never happen at a real school.
How strange. When I was in high school, we had somebody try to start a kissing booth at like one of these like
It's
field
like
day type affairs.
it's just a
Uh
lawsuit waiting to happen.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, it
that's
got
just
they what I believe one teacher approved it, and it was like a peck on the cheek or like a hug. I think it was a hug booth is what it was.
Hmm.
But then
yeah, because
Still, that
otherwise
can get
everybody's getting mono.
yeah,
exactly, and
but
so it
still that
ended
can
up
be a
getting shut
little.
down. Oh, it's horrible. It ended up getting shut down after like 20 minutes. Like nobody knew it was going to happen. And then they showed up on the football field, and they're like, what are you doing? You can't do this." Like, who who would ever approve this? That was what, 2002, 2003, like
Yeah, it
50 some
definitely would
years
be
after this
not happen.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh no.
See,
Yeah,
yeah, what I like, I love that every character in this film feels like a full character, even when they have like 5 minutes of screen time.
yeah.
You're like, I know who these guys are.
Whoop.
But he wants to live. So I do have a little criticism here. Is like, how would you not know that it's not moving? Like, even if you're moving as well.
Everyone, yeah. Do you
Well,
not see the?
they're just so in love.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Yeah, and they're like pissed. Like the old guys are like, what are you doing? What are you
Whee!
F words this and now all
And
the
they're all wearing
kids.
their nice suits and dresses, and they're just like, "Woo, jump in the pool!" Even the bad guys were like, "Oh, this is fun."
And these two assholes are just like, all right, well, we tried it, but now we got to be part of the fun.
Whee! Oh well.
I think that's one of my favorite moments. He's just,
He
oh
just
well.
got
Oh god, there it is.
Oh, he's wearing his 3 shirt.
I guess that's how they make Jimmy Stewart look like a young guy.
Oh, hot dog.
Oh well, I mean that
Oh, you look wonderful, Mary.
how old are you anyway?
Interesting question to ask after the case.
Hold on. So if she's 18 and he said he's supposed to be finished with college by now. Hold on, I've almost got it.
Oh, yep. And Jimmy,
Right.
It's about to get very naughty for 1948.
Jimmy, you rapscallion. What?
Public property is so romantic, isn't it, Mary?
An abandoned old place. It's just so romantic.
This dude with his pipe. You damn kids, get off my lawn. I'm gonna
see the world.
They are both amazing shots.
Yeah, somehow it really helps when a Foley artist is helping you out.
Yeah.
But I love that it's 1948, but she's still like, she feels like a subject.
Mm.
It's not
Yeah.
like she's going, I'm not gonna just sit here and listen to you talk.
Yeah. She's not a sexy lamp.
Yeah.
What the moon?
Mhm.
Just stay the word and I'll pull the lasso around and pull it down. Just the dialogue. It's unbeatable.
I'm calling the police.
I love this guy. Just kiss her.
I want to see you two kids kiss. Nothing pervy about it.
Now we're getting risque.
Woo!
This is a very interesting situation.
I've read about things like that.
Hey, yo!
Dear Penthouse.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You just left me in a hydrangea bush.
Better than peonies.
Mm.
Well, at least they're not roses, because they're thorns. Oh,
That's worth $5,000. You kidding me?
yeah.
Oh my god. Somebody said point out to like the poor kid from the Polar Express and they show his house. Someone said that house would be worth $300,000 on the market today.
Only that. Uh, Definitely not in Canada.
America is a hellscape.
Oh no, when it comes to house prices, Canada's the hellscape. Because it would be in the millions.
Well, apparently Peter Bailey wasn't doing too bad off. I mean, his house looked pretty decent. He had a cook and everything.
Mm. That was more common in those days. Somehow, being allowed to underpay an entire class of people.
Imagine that.
This is our advertisement for communism, or at least socialism.
Jimmy Stewart said housing for all.
Yeah.
Why is there just a bird there?
Because Uncle Billy has a bird.
I was just gonna say there's just like a whole ass crow.
Yep.
Hanging out. I was like, is this for symbolism? What does one crow mean again? Good luck or bad luck?
I mean, you could read it as symbolism, like because it could be Potter trying to, because he's pecking at the little house.
Maybe it's the spirit of the dad.
Or like the spirit of the Chad.
And George is like, I didn't want this.
Yeah, but that's what makes him George Bailey, is that he's always willing to do stuff for other people.
Yeah. Like, damn it.
Do I make a selfish decision? No. Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles.
Oh, he
I
married the
do.
blonde girl, I guess.
Yeah, I do not. No, it's not that blonde girl. This is a new blonde girl.
Uh,
I love the costumes. It like they don't do a period accurate thing. They just do it all 50s or well late 40s, but they are so lovely.
it's like, dang it, my little brother gets all the opportunities, but not me. I don't get nothing.
Yeah, but he's I don't know. I That's what I like about this, is that George is always choosing community and always choosing. I know it could be like to get into like, you know, you do that too much and you don't care for yourself, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it works. The spirit of like
He is plastered.
oh boy, oh boy.
It's giving Kevin Riley.
The timing and the comedy in this.
Or you could just casually travel the world.
Mm. Now she's a sensible age.
Mm. Great time to just move in. This movie's longer than I remembered.
Yeah, everybody always remembers the last act,
Yeah.
but to my mind, like the rest of this is what I enjoy about it.
Man, this girl's persistent. She's like, I could have every man in this town if I wanted, but I want washed up Jimmy Stewart.
But like, look at that dress. That is spectacular costume design.
Mm-hmm. She's like, you fucking hayseed? What are you talking about?
She's like, I don't care about the scandal. This dress walking in bare feet.
You think I'm gonna get ringworm for you, pal? He's like, I'm just a manic pixie dream boy looking for my manic pixie dream girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Aren't they just so sweet? I don't know.
She just had all this ready to go in case he came by.
Yeah. It really explains why in the He's Dead world she is a spinster, which of course is the most drastically horrible thing, but it's like, no, she knew exactly what she wants.
Yeah. She's not gonna settle for less.
Nope.
I just love living in my little small town. Let me tell you something. As somebody who's lived in small towns their entire life, it's overrated.
Some people like their town. Some people are small town people. Some people are not. You're not.
I am not.
You okay, Adnan?
Hmm.
You're falling out of frame.
Oh,
I can't
that's
see your beautiful face. It's funny, I know this is a Christmas movie, but there's not actually much Christmas going on.
There isn't. Well, there is in the last act when there's
Yeah.
just like all the snow. He flirts like a disaster bisexual, doesn't he?
I would know.
It's like, are you trying to say something, Mary?
Get that ruffian out of here.
That's the mother-in-law you want.
What?
whoa.
That line meant something different in the 1940s.
It did and it didn't.
Well, she told you. Well, that was over dramatic.
Yeah, someone has to pick that up. And somehow the mother has caller ID in 1948. Or I think this is still supposed to be the 30s.
I don't even think she was just standing up at the stairs. I guess she just assumed.
What a dang B word. As in brat.
I'm gonna make you jealous.
Man, it's the 40s. We can't have a woman actually top.
It is very true.
She has to just make him make a move somehow.
Oh, they're framed together so close.
Yeah.
Boy, it'd be really convenient if you wanted to open a bar and your name already happened to be Martini.
Yeah. I mean, what else can you do if your name is Martini? You have to open a bar.
It's kind of like if you're born with the name Jeeves, you were born to be a butler. You were born to buttle.
Especially to Bertie Wooster.
To be a butt list.
Buttless just sounds like you're prejudiced against butlers.
Here, here.
This is, I believe, is insider training.
Yeah, it is. They're committing crimes.
but it got them close.
Mm-hmm. That's the point. I'm just thinking of the guy on the other line being like, "Ow, my ear."
Oh, ah,
40s romance, which is smash our faces together.
yeah. Shake somebody, shake a woman
I get like why
lot,
he's like, I
and
don't want to
then
get married to you because, it's like I'm afraid I'm gonna be tied down here forever. But I'm like, can you not get married to her and also occasionally take vacations?
Well, that is their plan.
Clarence is up in heaven thinking, this is the longest damn backstory.
Because the backstory is the movie.
Yeah.
Because you can't appreciate the life without him in it if you don't see his life.
The cops
float away into
encouraging them to
heaven
drink
and
while they're in the car.
Well, they're not driving.
Uh-oh.
We're about to get another advertisement for socialism.
Yeah. This is the man you married, Mary. Mr. I gotta save the day.
Yep.
It's basically Superman and Lois Lane, but sadder.
Nah, it's more human. It's a humanist movie. Maybe the crow is like the building and loans like a mascot.
God damn it.
It's the stock market crash of 29.
Ah.
Who has a big picture of themselves? Big painting of themselves over their own fireplace.
That's how you know he's evil.
So, folks, we lost Oddnon. He's not well. He needs to sleep. So that's fine. It's just Ren and I for the rest.
Yep. Sorry to disappoint. No, I'm just kidding. We're never a disappointment. Oof.
See, this is our lesson in capitalism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is why Mary is his perfect match.
Yes. Because it's like, it's not even a question. It's like, really? We don't get to go on our honeymoon? It's just like, how much do you need?
Yeah. This is what we do. We take care of our community.
Yeah, I was like, $2,000 is not going to cover everybody in there. Yeah, he's been sitting outside all this time. These, what, 6 hours?
Mhm. No, he's definitely not been sitting in his cab because we're going to see what they've been up to. Ernie and Bert. Bert and Ernie.
This is really cute the way they get together to like try and make something of a decent honeymoon.
Yeah, it is. It's very sweet. I think it's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Mm.
No, he's just come through for the community because that's what he does. And then his community does this for him.
Is that house safe to stay in for the night? It looks condemned.
Movie magic.
He's like, are you kidding me? I'm watching this in color and it feels very strange.
You're watching it in color.
Well, that's what they had
Weird.
on Prime. And it's like, but everything is kind of like sepia tone, so like Jimmy Stewart has like golden skin.
Oh yeah, colorization never works. Just go with black and white.
Yeah. Maybe more of a bronze color.
And of course, movie magic is this house is going to be a palace in like a matter of
Yeah.
scenes.
Even though we have no money to renovate now.
Yep.
I mean, it's smart.
Yeah.
MacGyvered that thing.
Yep. That's who she is. Donna Reed, homemaker and MacGyver.
It's really nice that they're like serenading them on their honeymoon, but also I just
It's also would be really weird.
we're just gonna stand outside under your window while y'all. I wish that we'd have our honeymoon right here in this old dilapidated crud bucket.
I'd wish that you were bone me in this
I
old house,
yeah.
just
On the
with our
day of the
friends
stock market crash.
outside singing and getting absolutely sopping wet.
I was literally about to say they should kiss now. I think that was a rejection.
And now we have an Italian stereotype.
Oh, Lord. And the goat. Good God.
You got to bring the goat along.
Look at that old car.
Yeah.
My phone keeps going off.
You're popular. Yeah.
Oh.
The white people are giving the Italian stereotype salt because it's
I
the
know.
only flavoring they know.
I heard somebody say that Italians made up the whole your water will boil faster if you add salt to it just so that white people would put some flavor on their food. Those damn poors getting housing and not letting me gouge them.
Yeah.
My thing is, this man has been so old for like 30 years now. When is he gonna die? Yeah, George, you're such an idiot for not participating in insider
And
trading.
insider trading, yeah.
I hate that guy. My God, look at those houses. Now I could never even dream of owning a home like that.
Yeah. Nope. That'd be a couple $1,000,000.
Yep.
There's a guy who does TikToks that is comparing Canadian real estate prices to literal European castles.
Mm. I saw that. I think I saw one of those. It's like, yeah, this here's a castle in Scotland for $3 million. Now here's a
And
two-bedroom home for the
this
same price.
technically has a bathroom and four walls.
God.
The temptation from evil capitalist man.
Bow to the whims of capitalism.
I'm losing my thingies.
Oh, not your thingamabobs.
I don't have 20.
What? Who cares? No big deal.
I want more.
43?
Yes, I believe that Jimmy Stewart in this is 28.
Totally. Garlic
I
eater. Is
believe
that
that
some
was
kind
a
of
slur.
yeah? To say is that a slur against Italian people?
The way he said it, it certainly is.
To be fair, this man very much looks like he would call anyone a slur.
Yeah, or anything he called someone would be a slur.
It's wild to me that 20,000 a year was considered a lot back then.
That's
You
inflation does that.
Yeah, you can't get by on 20,000 a year, not by yourself anymore.
No. Are you tempted?
Hmm?
Mm-hmm. Do I look devilly enough? Should I add more eyebrows?
Yeah. I think horns would be a little too on the nose.
Just a little.
Don't sell your soul.
He's got a portrait of himself in his office and his home.
Dude in the course like, what did I do?
But I'm keeping the cigar.
I'm taking this cigar though. Like the thing is that like it should be a good sign to know that like, him making this offer like this is a sign that he knows he's losing.
Yes.
Men like that,
But
they don't
it's
concede
also
anything.
yeah. It's also a sign of how like important he is, that he is the business building and loan. He can't,
Yep.
he's sort of tied to the responsibility.
Yeah. Ooh, man and woman in bed together. Scandalous.
Mm.
Married and fully clothed.
Mm-hmm. What are the words we could use?
We don't know yet.
Those are two of the options.
Yeah. Question is, where the hell are they getting all this money to renovate this house and take care of these children?
Just assume everybody repaid their loans.
Of course he did.
Because power always preserves power.
Nothing brings the country together like a war, I tell ya.
Yeah, and then we've got to tell what everybody in town, every character we've met, we have to show what they did.
I say, don't you know there's a war on? I'm surprised Potter didn't force him to join the army out of spite. It's about time.
Now we got to Christmas.
Yeah.
Excellent headline writing. Just
My question is,
it's the exposition times.
my question is, did they like badly Photoshop a picture of the brother with Truman, or did they like actually get like a lookalike for Truman? I know they didn't get the actual Harry Truman.
It's not photoshopped.
Well, I mean, you know,
It's
not
photography
actual,
tricks, yeah.
yeah,
Probably, I don't know.
1940s Photoshop.
Yeah.
Image splicing, I guess.
Literal cutting
Film
and
splicing.
pasting.
Where's my nose so itchy?
No, they're just gonna put her in a slingshot and aim
Yeah,
for Bedford
they're
Falls.
gonna strap wings on her back like she's goddamn Icarus.
We didn't learn what Eustace did during the war.
Yeah, I will not stand for this Eustace erasure. This man is like, I am not impressed.
I am a bank examiner. My name is A.E. Pessimal. I examine banks.
I can't be bothered with my own job. The infamous money. The cutting is like distracting.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll get you into trouble comparing capitalists to
Eh. Too busy gloating, not taking care of business. $8,000 big ones.
And he gets away with it too.
Yeah.
His only punishment is that he's a bitter old man who has to live with himself.
Yeah. I
Which
can't
is
believe I know Uncle George is kind of supposed to be ditzy, but I can't believe he doesn't go, hey, wait a minute. I was holding the envelope when
yeah,
I started talking to Potter and I took his newspaper. Could it possibly still be there?
love that hat.
Hmm. Sorry, I can't hear you. There's a crow bleeding into the talking thing.
I wonder if the crow has a name. There's one in Discworld which is called Quoth because he is Quoth the Raven.
Here, wipe that off before you go home.
Yeah, could we be more obvious about wiping it off?
Yeah. Uncle Billy lost the money.
Yep. Now, had they not learned by now, Uncle Bailey is not the person who should be handling the money.
Yeah. He's kind of a space cadet.
Yep.
Most people, if they find an envelope full of $8,000, they're not going to give it back. They should if they have any scruples, but most people don't.
But,
Most people are in financial straits and can't afford to give back that kind of money anyway.
yeah, but if chances are if someone's lost it, they need it.
Yeah. Whenever I find a wallet, I always try to get in contact with the owner.
Yeah.
Over here virtue signaling. I'm just such a good person.
Well, it's I think most people do. Like we
Yeah.
think, you know, part of us thinks that we would take the money because
Yeah. Of course, that's a wallet with an ID in it. This is an envelope. Of course, we know where it is. It's with the old rich guy, and he knows whose money it is, but
yes.
good job, Uncle George.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Wait,
It's
he
shown
has a
us
squirrel too?
we need a movie about that man and his menagerie. He has no business running a bank.
Is he a Disney princess? Why does he have so many little animal helpers? You think they could get the money for him? Find the money. Daddy's depressed right now.
Yeah.
He's not really in the mood for Christmas.
This bit is actually kind of cute.
Hmm.
Most of the child acting is very child acting.
Again, the cuts in this movie drive me insane.
Yeah, it's very jump cutty. But, the art of editing was still,
Yeah.
and the budget on this was not much. See, if it started on this day, like, would you like George at all?
Yeah. That's why we have to have
We have to
what
know he is a good man in a
Yeah.
bad situation.
120 minutes of build up. Yeah. This is just a dude who's like at his limit.
Yeah.
I love how disheveled and distraught he looks. Like his 5 o'clock shadows coming in, his hair is all in his face. It's very Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't start emo dancing.
It's a little late to, be having a party. See, at some point, I think I would have been like, honey, is everything okay? You're acting
Honey,
very out of character.
this is a Valium.
Daddy's little helper tonight. Why do they have a photo of Abraham Lincoln in the background? I'm sorry to break up this tense moment, but I have to know. They just have why? Why
Well,
is
like
he there?
the film is supposed to be this kind of like hymn to America.
I guess.
So yeah, I guess that's why. It's
I would
like
think if they would have a picture of an American president, it would be like the current president.
there's probably a picture of the Truman would be the current one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know this didn't happen during the Civil War. I'm not great at history, but I do know that.
No, I was like the current one, which is right. It's Truman, I think.
Yeah, if this is like happening
48.
toward the end of World War One, then yeah, that's true.
No, this is
I mean World War Two.
Right after World War II. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? I happen to have an envelope of $8,000 here. I was visited by some very smart ghosts
Yeah.
who handed me my ass.
Yeah, if the Angels are so concerned about George Bailey, why didn't they like, I don't know, step in and just fix this thing?
I guess they can't do that.
Even though they could stop a man from self-unaliving. I don't know if we're
I
allowed to
don't
say the
know.
S word.
I don't know. This is our channel isn't monetized.
Yeah, this isn't TikTok.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like we have to just accept the rules of angelness
Yeah.
for the universe of the movie.
It's kind of like asking why didn't the fairy godmother and Cinderella like step in and stop the child abuse instead of just waiting till the night of the ball and be like, here's a dress. Go
Now,
have fun.
yeah. Now, you noticed Abraham Lincoln.
And there's Napoleon.
Napoleon is just there.
Symbolism.
Yeah, the filmmaker's like, shall we be subtle? No. Have fun with the set design. He was being nice.
I did understand economics. I'm too pretty for this.
Yeah. And he's pushed him to the point telling him is that he is worth more dead than alive. There just really is so much snow.
Yeah.
It's the Italian stereotype of bar.
Yeah. Would you like a spicy meatball with your shots? I guess he probably drinks free here since he got that guy a house.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, well, if you die, you'll have $15,000. I only talk to God when I need a favor.
And this is where we came in.
Yep. I will say, Jimmy Stewart's like kind of frenetic energy does work well here as like a man who's at the end of his rope.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's Mr. Welch. That's true though. Teachers are overworked. Give them a fucking break.
Yeah. He did kind of after his behavior and shaking of Uncle Billy and yelling at the kids. He kind of deserves a pop in the mouth.
Yeah. It's like, I get it, you're having like the world's worst day, but
Also driving drunk.
yeah. It's like, good job. Now you're gonna have to pay more money to fix your car, asshole.
You hurt my tree. You're drunk fool. Now please get in it and drive it away.
I know, right? The world is so cruel. Especially when I'm having the worst day.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the worst day.
This reminds me of when I was having a really bad day and I had to go grocery shopping and some kid with Down syndrome came up to me and told me that I was ugly. It's like, thanks. Thanks, kid.
He was wrong.
Thank you. Well, it turned out it was like a cutesy joke. It stood for unconditionally, God loves you. I was like, aw, that's sweet. Doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it today, though.
I love that this is how he saves him. He's like, I'll jump in. So you have to jump in anyway.
Yeah. This guy out here is like, these damn fools.
Yeah. Like, I gotta want the story from this guy's perspective.
It's like, we had 2 jumpers in one night? That's incredible. What are the odds? Oh, he's just staring at him like, eh? It's against the law to commit suicide. What are you gonna do to punish them? Give him the chair? It's like this guy is off his rocker.
Like these two are I'm not supposed to be here today.
It's like I gotta work on Christmas and I gotta deal with these two. Rude.
Every time a bell rings.
Ugh.
Do we get to the gimmick at 1 hour and 43 4
Yeah.
minutes?
Took long enough. This is the plot of the movie. The plot didn't show up until like
But it wouldn't work if it started at the
yeah.
crisis. You have to, and I think that's what make like it just kind of shows like what.
Yeah. We gotta understand like who this guy is. I'm just saying, could we have cut it down like a little bit? A little bit.
Yeah, but it would yeah, but I kind of like the I find the nonsense charming.
It's like, what the hell? Like, hey, where's the car?
My car.
Something's different.
he definitely is.
Oh, you know it's a sin bar now because they're playing the fast music.
Yep. And the women have frizzy hair.
Yeah, and cleavage. Or what goes for cleavage in the 40s?
We had an Italian stereotype that has been replaced with a Brooklyn stereotype.
You might as well just call him the F slur.
We don't want it in the atmosphere.
Neither do you.
Every time a bell rings.
This is the bartender staring. I'm like, what the? He's overhearing the weirdest conversation.
And Fedora's like, huh?
There's the F slur. Almost, basically. I don't think in that case that guy would have gotten like 20 years. I think we would have gotten some time for like gross negligence, but not murder.
Well, if
Manslaughter,
George
maybe.
wasn't there, then the worst possible things have to happen. I think he might start to believe.
Mm-hmm. Not the Zuzu's petals. Home Alone, that's a different movie. You tried to. Oh my gosh, it's Las
Oh my
Vegas.
gosh.
The Sin, they're listening to jazz music.
Martini has competition.
Yeah.
Pool.
Not
Good
Martini,
goodness,
Nick.
no. Nick. Goodness, no, there's pool and midnight dancing.
I love how it's all just gentlemen's clubs and bars.
And the pawnbrokers.
Yeah.
Girls, girls, girls.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's small town Las Vegas.
Life is even worse for the sex worker.
Yeah. Like in the movies where like the girl gets into a cab and they're like, "Where to?" Home.
Home, Jeeves, home.
It's like cab's like, "I don't know where you live." Oh, shouldn't have said that.
Surprised that they aren't like, and Hitler won because George Bailey wasn't there to do his
I
thing.
know. George Keeler.
Everybody's really lining up for that striptease dance.
Do you have any money to pay for the cabbie? They are not there.
Yeah, they're not like hiding.
Like, this isn't the Truman Show, dude. You're not gonna catch him hiding some.
Did that say Jerry and Tony?
Bert and Ernie.
Yeah. It really is surprising that we have not yet had the Muppets do It's a Wonderful Life. So Bert and Ernie, and he is so Kermit.
Yeah.
I don't know that any actor could do George Bailey, could do like the whole Jimmy Stewart thing
I think
other
if
than
they
Kermit.
I think if they did do a Muppets It's a Wonderful Life, then I think the one human actor would have to be the one playing Potter.
Just bring Michael Caine back.
He always plays Christmas villains. That's the law. mom opens the door and she doesn't know who you are.
In this world, she did not meet moisturizer.
Yeah.
It's just the lack of her son just never inspired her to moisturize.
She looks like the Wicked Witch.
She really does.
You have a very interesting business model, madam. The whole point of a boarding house is that you take in strangers and they pay rent. What about my brother? Your brother's dead. You never saved him from drowning.
Yep.
He's more willing to believe that Clarence is a witch than an angel. Which is not there.
Now it's a cemetery.
You see,
And
George, you're failing America.
None of the other kids could have done it.
Yeah. Only George, because he is the main character of this town.
Oh, title drop.
Roll credits. Where's Mary?
Oh, Mary has the worst fate of all.
She's a old maid with glasses and a ponytail.
You're not gonna like it. She's an old maid.
She never met any
Weep
single
for
man
her.
that measured up to her expectations. Because you didn't exist. Oh my god.
Oh, I don't know why my eyes itchy. I'm not crying. I just like.
No, I know. I've got it too. It's wait. So this town is full of strip joints and dive bars, but they also have a public library.
Public library.
So that the one like frumpy chick has a job, I guess.
And because he was not there, she got glasses. So without George in the world, her eyesight worsened.
No, you see, if he had been there, she would have gotten contacts. She would have gotten LASIK surgery.
In 1948, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Or she would have been like, no, I like to live my life in soft focus.
And no one's asking, how does this man know all of our names, despite us never having met him before? Based.
Yay!
Based.
I know it's Bert and Ernie, but oh yes, and we shall randomly fire at the crazy man running away. We'll just fire the gun down. That's actually believable.
Cop shit. Typical cop shit. No, it's unbelievable because George Bailey is white.
Don't let Mary be a spinster.
Help me, Clarence. You're my only hope.
I want to live again, Mary. I can't let you be an old maid. I really can't do I can't
I
do the
like how
voice.
reality the snow it wasn't snowing in the other reality, but snowing in this one. That's how we know we're back in the right world. I just had the most traumatizing 20 minutes of my life
My wife was an old maid.
with glasses.
Zuzu's petals.
That's exactly what I want. I want Jimmy Stewart screaming in my ear. Woo! I crashed my
Hello, Belford Falls.
car. Crash.
The bells of St. Mary's. We've gone from poor
Merry Christmas, you all
to a
beautiful
movie. I think
saints and
it's
Lord.
about nuns.
Hey, Mr. Potter, up yours. The, the one guy who's there like just takes picture. Oh, this is gonna make great news. The town war hero's brother is going to jail.
There's supposed to be a party, but we've already gotten dressed for bed.
I know. I'm like, are they having this party at 3 in the morning? I do appreciate the fact that like they both have snow on them from being outside.
Yeah.
Nice detail. Kind of hard to run down the stairs when you got kids hanging all over you.
Yeah, I wonder what the outtakes were like. Like, no, I kind of have other things on my mind now, Mary. I saw you with glasses, and now seeing you without, I just have certain ideas coming to mind.
It's a Christmas miracle. Oh, there's
They-
that dickhead who demanded all of his money.
yeah, but now he's learned. We've
Yeah.
all learned.
Maybe he had a visit from an angel.
We've all learned that when we contribute to each other and choose community, good things happen, and the capitalist is
Yeah.
gets to
Commu
keep on living and have the extra $8,000,
Yeah.
but he doesn't get the building and loan.
Mr. G Mr. Gower, you're not a criminal. Because living in the shitty small town that you grew up in is the best fate for anyone.
Now we have another stereotype.
That is a funny line, though. For
It
saving my
is a
money for a
very
divorce if I ever get a husband. Aw. Aw, good for Sam
Yeah.
Wainwright. We love
Yeah.
this character development for him. Now we have to count all the money, though. There's enough, though.
Yeah. Those of you who've watched all of Farscape may have a different version of this song in your head.
It's Christmas.
And Eustace is there with his calculator.
Uncle Billy, don't misplace the money again, goddammit.
Someone found a punch bowl.
I do like a man in uniform.
Yeah, that
Military
guy
uniform,
is
not police uniform.
yeah. And that actor just is extremely handsome.
Yeah. Oh man, this ending gets me.
Since be forgot and never brought to mind. No man is a failure who has friends.
It's a good message.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, this is like an advertisement for socialism.
Mm.
But like really it's talking about community. A bell rings and angel gets his wings.
Ugh. An almost perfect movie if it wasn't for that line read. We're being so mean to a child.
I think she's an old lady now.
If she's still even alive. Still, there's no reason for it.
We just had to get a little extra twee.
Yeah. Does the cockles of the heart good.
Yeah. It's far too cheesy to watch at any time that wasn't Christmas.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
But at Christmas, I think it's the appropriate amount of cheese.
Yeah. I don't like I'm not crazy about a lot of Christmas movies, but this one is a classic for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can definitely see why it failed though, and it was in its initial release because it's like the filthy communist themes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just reminds me of that bit in The Last of Us where they go to like that settlement where Joel's brother is, and like Joel's brother's like, "Oh, well, I mean, we're not communists." And his wife goes, we live on a commune. We literally are communist." The brother has like a whole mini existential crisis.
Mhm. Yes. Seize the means of Christmas production.
Yes. And Mr. Potter died an old, lonely, bitter old man.
Looking at all those portraits of himself.
That's true. He wasn't alone. He had his portraits.
And his, the carer who was wheeling him around.
Yeah.
Yes. So many stereotypes and bad tropes, but it was the 40s and they didn't, yeah.
Yeah. Like community over making the rich richer is still a good message even today. Especially today.
Especially today.
Oof.
I don't know how many buildings do buildings and loans even exist. I know there are credit unions, but yeah.
I'm still confused about the business model for the building and loan. I'm like, okay, so you give people money so that they can build their houses and own their own homes, but it's also like a bank, like a credit union. It's very confusing. I don't think it's probably not important.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm the person who can explain that, but
We are just two pretty dummies.
Speak for yourself. I am neither of those.
It's not true.
No,
Okay, we're
I'm
not.
I'm not an economics person.
Yes, we didn't go to school for economics. We went to school for. Well, I went to
Feminism.
school to. Yeah, I went to school for film and television.
I went to school for gender and film.
So clearly, we are not economics people.
No, we did not make wise economic choices.
Yeah.
But no, I think like the idea is that like it is like a credit union kind of thing where like it's a communal asset and they build the houses and they pay back for the building of the houses without having to think about profit and
Yeah.
shareholders because everybody who owns houses are shareholders. It's a kind of a commune thing.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah, it's one model.
Yeah.
You could also have public housing.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Ugh, society is a mess.
It is. And society was a mess in 1948 in different ways.
Yeah. I mean, they were coming off of the depression, but they were like on the verge of like, that post-war boom.
Yeah. Yeah, and Truman is warning people that they really shouldn't continue with they really needed to change the manufacturing away from manufacturing weapons in case they developed a military industrial complex.
Which they did.
Oops. Yeah.
Because capitalism is a cancer that consumes everything.
Yes, it is.
Even critiques of itself have become now capitalist ventures.
Yes, because although this film went into the public domain, so people played it all the time because it was cheap, then people recognized how lovely it is in all its cheesy sweetness and
profit.
Yes. And now we always remember it mostly for the terrible child acting.
Every time an angel gets it, or every time
a bell rings,
an angel gets its wings.
That and like the premise of, what if I could see a world where I no longer lived? But like the reason that works is because we've just shown how he makes all the community choices. And if he didn't make those community choices, then we get to see that the community would suffer. Which, because subtlety is apparently for other writers, means that we have girls in place of the bells of St. Mary's at the cinema. And all the
personally, I would like to live
unfortunate gender stereotype named bars.
Personally, I would like to live in a society where where everyone can afford housing, and also sex work is a vibrant and respected profession.
It didn't look respected,
No, it did
considering
not
how
look
poor
respected
Violet
at
was
all.
treated.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, no cops. That would be nice.
We need. And the cops were shooting people. No. What we need is a nice world where unionized sex workers and affordable housing.
Yeah.
Which is not a world we can really quite imagine in 1948. But well, folks, I hope you enjoyed us talking through It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes, this was very fun. Shout out to Oddnon. We're sorry that you had to go.
Yeah. And Josh is busy with work. We didn't say that right up front, but that's where Josh had lots of work, and so he is very, very sleepy.
Yes. It's been a hard year for all of us, I think.
Yeah, and December is a busy month, which is why we don't record in December, apart from this. Which means it'll be a little ways into January before we get recordings out, because we'd have to get over the start of term busyness for Josh, and then we'll be able to record regularly again. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this and hope that all of you are enjoying whatever holiday nonsense makes you smile, whatever holidays you are celebrating. And if you want to tell us in the comments what your favorite Christmas or other holiday movie is your favorite, well, yeah, it'd be fun to know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah, that's about it from us. Do you want to tell the folks where they can find you?
you already know the drill. I am Ren the Barbarian. Yes, Ren the Barbarian, the YouTuber. I do have a YouTube channel, where I talk about Star Trek and other pop culture. Um, and you can find me there. You can also find me on Tumblr, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, all under Ren the Barbarian.
Yeah, all of the things. I am Sara Ezzat, the Fat Culture Critic, and you can find me various places as well. The links will all be in the dooley doo. And you can find Josh on Instagram with the food and self care stuff, as he usually says. And we will be back in January at some point with uh Green Eyed Monster.
Ooh.
So that'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah. And Ren will be back guesting again. I think we have you jotted down for Meltdown, possibly.
I will be back at some point.
Yes, they will definitely be back at some point, as will Oddnon. And so from all of us at the Muppet Sex and Trauma Expanded Universe, have a very Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus to the rest of us. Happy holiday, happy Hanukkah to the people who celebrate, and happy solstice. All
Happy
the things.
holidays.
Yes.
And a very happy new
We
year.
here are joining the war on Christmas on the side of not guns.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're evil communists who
Yes.
who secularize everything. That's not a surprise.
We just watched a communist, a very, at least definitely socialist leading movie that was full. That was also, it contained a bunch of people praying, literal angels, and the assumed existence of God. So we just muddled it all up.
I mean, if Jesus was alive today, he would have absolutely been a communist. So
I will take your word for it, since you're the one of us who believes in him.
I want like a necklace like with like the sickle and the hammer crossed, but like instead of a hammer, I want it to be like a cross.
Why
Blow
not?
people's minds on both sides of the aisles.
I'm just a little existential humanist, and I like the humanistic-ness of this film, even with all the praying and stuff.
You would.
Yeah. So, yeah. Happy, jingly, merry, whatchamacallit, and we will see you in the new year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.